There are entire rows of brand new electric cars sitting on dealer lots right now that nobody is buying. Not slow sellers. Vehicles with a year, 2 years, in one case, 4 years of inventory piled up with no buyers in sight. Today, I am counting down 12 EVs rotting on dealer lots in 2026, measured by days of supply, which is how long it would take to clear the inventory at the current sales pace. A healthy number is 60 to 90 days. Everything on this list blows past that. Some are bad buys at any price. Others are quietly becoming the best negotiating opportunities of the year, and I will tell you which is which. Let's get into it. One quick note before we start. These inventory numbers move fast, and one car on this list saw its figure cut in half in a single month. Treat them as a snapshot of where the leverage is right now, not a permanent scorecard. We start with 9,000 pounds of ambition that the market stopped wanting. The GMC Hummer EV. This thing has been stacking up on dealer lots since it launched, and it keeps appearing on leftover inventory reports quarter after quarter, with roughly a third of the stock at some points being older model year units. Nobody moved. Regular viewers know the sales side of this story from the flops video. Hummer sales fell about 56% year over year in the second quarter, but the inventory picture is what tells you where the leverage is. 1,000 horsepower, crab walk, 6-figure electric truck was a product built for a market with cheap money and a federal tax credit. Both are gone. What is left is a vehicle whose battery pack alone weighs as much as a compact car, starting around $97,000. In a year when buyers are asking every dealer for value. Here is what makes it interesting rather than sad. GMC just unveiled a commemorative anniversary edition, and as I covered on the discontinuation watch list, farewell editions have a habit of arriving before the end, which means dealers holding standard Hummers are sitting on inventory with a shrinking future and a shrinking audience. If you have always wanted one, the discounts on remaining stock are the deepest they have ever been. Just go in knowing you are buying a monument to a moment that has passed. Number 11 is the vehicle I put third on my longest range countdown, and it is piling up anyway. The Cadillac Escalade IQ. Inventory reports have shown close to half the available stock, at points being older model year units, one of the highest leftover shares of any electric vehicle in America. And the strange part is that the Escalade IQ is a legitimately impressive machine. 465 miles of EPA range, more than almost anything else on the road, 750 horsepower, a 55-inch screen spanning the dashboard, real-world highway testing that beats its own rating. It won Best Luxury Car Awards. On paper, this should not be sitting. The problem is the price and the pool. $130,000 buys a very small audience, even in a good year, and the number of Americans willing to spend Escalade money on an electric version of an Escalade turns out to be smaller than GM planned for. Add the stretched IQL version above it, and you have a 2-model lineup fighting over one narrow slice of buyers. For anyone shopping at this level, that math is your friend. A dealer holding a $130,000 EV that has been on the lot for months has a very different conversation with you than one selling a hot Escalade. This is the most vehicle per negotiated dollar on the entire list. Number 10 is the car I have praised on this channel more than almost any other electric vehicle, and it keeps topping the leftover inventory charts. The BMW i4. Let me say the good part first, because it is all true. The i4 is the reliability champion of the EV world, finishing at or near the top of every major dependability survey we have cited. Over 300 miles of range on the eDrive 40, wireless CarPlay standard, a cabin that feels like a proper BMW rather than an experiment. On the longevity countdown, it earned a spot on engineering merit alone. So why are dealers still sitting on stacks of them? Timing and cannibalization. The i4 is an older design now, and BMW just launched the vehicle that makes it look dated, the new iX3 on the Neue Klasse platform. With 434 miles of range, 400 kilowatt charging, and a price that undercuts what a loaded i4 costs. When a brand launches its most important vehicle in a decade, everything sitting beside it on the lot suddenly becomes last year's news. Reports have shown dealer stock heavily weighted toward older model year i4s, and that is the definition of aging inventory. But this is the friendliest kind of pileup for a buyer. Nothing is wrong with the car. The company behind it is thriving. The warranty is unchanged. You are getting the most reliable EV on the market at a discount created entirely by its own replacement arriving. That is about as clean as a deal gets. Number 9 is a pair of vehicles from a brand that does almost everything right and cannot move its EVs. The Genesis GV60 and the electrified GV70. Both have appeared near the top of leftover inventory rankings, and the GV60 has been named among the worst selling vehicles in America this year. The frustrating part is the hardware. The GV60 rides on the same 800-volt eGMP platform as the Hyundai Ioniq 5, the best-selling non-Tesla EV in the country, and shares much of its engineering. The rear-drive version delivers up to 306 miles of range. The performance model makes 429 horsepower. The interiors are among the nicest at any price. None of it is the problem. The problem is positioning. The GV60 starts around $54,000 and climbs past $74,000 for the performance. For a compact crossover whose mechanical twin from Hyundai starts about $20,000 lower, Genesis is asking luxury money for a car most shoppers recognize as an Ioniq 5 in a tailored suit. Meanwhile, the electrified GV70 fights the same battle one size up against BMW and Mercedes badges that carry decades more recognition. For buyers, this is one of the quieter steals in the market. Genesis has a strong warranty, real dealer support, and a company in solid health behind it. You are buying great engineering at a discount created by a badge that has not finished earning its price yet. Number 8 is on this list because its maker walked away from the entire category. The Honda Prologue. It is ranked among the highest leftover inventory shares in the EV market, and regular viewers know exactly why. Honda ended Prologue production and exited American EVs completely, becoming the first major automaker to hold 0 electric vehicles in this market. Everything still on a dealer lot is now finite stock with no successor coming. Sales continue through the current model year, with remaining inventory selling into next year, and then that is the end of the story. What makes the Prologue interesting is that the car itself was never the failure. It sold over 82,000 units and reached 6th best-selling EV in the country in its first full year. It rides on GM's Ultium platform with up to 294 miles of range and a comfortable, spacious cabin. It was killed by a corporate retreat, not by customers. That leaves a clean opportunity with clear terms. Honda has committed to full service, parts, and warranty support through its dealer network. And because the hardware underneath is shared with GM vehicles still in production, the parts ecosystem is not going anywhere. Prologues were already leasing in the low 300s before the announcement, and the discounts have only deepened. Leasing is the smart structure here. Enjoy the clearance price and hand the resale risk back to Honda. As a purchase, it works for people who keep cars a long time. What it will never get is a software future because both parents have moved on. Number 7 is the vehicle Porsche needed to succeed most, and dealers cannot move it. The Porsche Macan Electric. Inventory reports have put it near the very top of the leftover stock rankings, with well over half of available units at points being older model year cars still waiting for a buyer. The context makes this worse than it looks. The gas Macan was Porsche's best-selling vehicle in America for years, the car that funded everything else in the lineup. The electric version was supposed to carry that torch, and by most reviews, it is a fine machine. 800-volt architecture, genuinely quick, and it drives with more Porsche in it than most people expect from a heavy electric crossover. What killed the momentum is the same thing that has haunted every luxury EV in this market. Porsche buyers watched early Taycans lose value at a rate that made country club conversation, and that memory now attaches to every electric car wearing the crest. Add pricing that climbs fast with options, and you get a vehicle that reviews well and sits anyway. Porsche has publicly admitted its electric targets were too ambitious and is redirecting money toward gas and hybrid models, which tells buyers everything about how confident the company is in this segment. For a shopper, the leverage is real. But the resale warning is equally real. Buy one if you are keeping it a long time. Lease it if you are not. Do not assume the depreciation curve that punished the Taycan will skip its smaller sibling. Number 6 is one of the best electric cars ever built, and almost nobody is buying it, the Porsche Taycan. There are only around 1,000 of them for sale nationwide, a tiny number. And demand is so thin that even that small pool works out to roughly 218 days of supply. The average listing price is a breathtaking $148,000. None of this is about the car. Regular viewers know the Taycan was my number 2 pick on the fastest EVs countdown, and the driver's choice of that entire list. The 2-speed rear gearbox, the thermal engineering that lets it repeat launches lap after lap, the chassis that still outhandles everything electric. It is a masterpiece. The problem is that global deliveries dropped another 19% in the first quarter of this year. And in China, the car has nearly vanished, with fewer than 50 registered across 2 entire months. Here in America, the story is simpler and more brutal. Wealthy buyers watched early Taycans shed half their value in a few years, and word travels fast in that world. Meanwhile, Porsche's gas-powered 911 is up over 20%. The market delivered its verdict, and it asked for the engine. Here's the part that ties 2 of my videos together. That same depreciation is exactly why the used Taycan landed at number 2 on my performance bargains list. Clean early cars in the $40,000 to $55,000 range. So the new car's problem is the used buyer's gift. If you want a Taycan, the smart money has been on the used market all along. Number 5 already did the thing that dying vehicles do. The Jeep Wagoneer S. This was supposed to be Jeep's electric flagship. Over 600 horsepower, competitive range, a proper luxury interior, priced above $65,000. It has instead become one of the worst selling vehicles in America. The numbers tell the story fast. After the federal tax credit expired, the Wagoneer S moved under 200 units in an entire quarter, not 200 a month, 200 in 3 months, nationwide, for a vehicle Jeep spent years developing. Then, as I covered on the discontinuation watch list, Jeep confirmed the Wagoneer S skips the 2026 model year entirely, with a planned return for 2027 carrying a native NACS port and upgraded battery and software. A skipped model year is the industry's way of pausing while it decides whether the return is worth the money. And nothing about the market has improved in the gap. The credit is not coming back. Stellantis is deeper into its $27 billion retreat, and the core problem, a $70,000 electric Jeep that neither looks nor off-roads like a Jeep, has no software fix. So the leftover 2025 stock is discounting hard, and that discount is real. But this is the one on this list where I would be most careful. You would be buying an orphaned model year from the automaker in the deepest crisis in the industry. Lease it and let Stellantis carry the risk, or walk past it entirely. Number 4 has 349 days of inventory, nearly a full year of supply, sitting at an average price around $46,000. The Volkswagen ID.4, and this one earned every single day of it, because the recent history reads like a warranty department's worst week stretched across a year. Start with the door handles. Water leaked into the electronic handles, shorted the circuit boards, and doors could pop open while the car was moving. That triggered a stop sale and halted production at the Chattanooga plant, with 200 workers furloughed. Then it got worse. Nearly 44,000 ID.4s were recalled over a battery defect. Misaligned electrodes inside the cells that could short circuit during fast charging and catch fire. Volkswagen's guidance to owners was to park outside, cap charging at 80%, and avoid DC fast chargers entirely. Sit with that for a second. An electric car you should not fast charge and should not park in your garage. And then the fix broke things. Some dealers installing the remedy watched the software update crash mid-install and fry the steering wheel electronics, leaving cars stranded in service bays for weeks waiting on entire replacement steering wheel assemblies. Now here is the honest other side, because regular viewers heard me defend this car on the reliability countdown. The remedy is a battery inspection, a software update, and where the fault is found, module or full pack replacement. A properly sorted ID.4 is running on inspected, sometimes brand new hardware, and years of updates have cured the early software misery. Volkswagen also dropped the ID.4 from the lineup, so what remains is finite. The rule is absolute. Run the VIN, confirm every campaign shows fully closed with dealer paperwork in hand, and walk away from any ID.4 with anything still open. Sorted, it is a spacious, well-built crossover at clearance money. Unsorted, it is the worst buy on this list. Number 3 might be the most predictable failure in this entire video. The Dodge Charger Daytona. 385 days of supply. With over 10,700 cars sitting on lots against roughly 1,200 sold in a 45-day stretch. At an average price near $58,500. That makes the Charger the slowest selling new car in America by inventory. Dodge took a car whose entire identity was a rumbling Hemi V8 and removed the V8. Buyers responded exactly as anyone could have predicted. The core audience, people who bought Chargers specifically for the sound, did not show up for a synthesized soundtrack piped through speakers. The electric Daytona weighs nearly 5,800 pounds, and the Scat Pack now lists above $72,000. That is not muscle car money. That is luxury car money. Ass of the one crowd that has always bragged about horsepower per dollar. Early cars have also been plagued by electrical gremlins and software glitches, which is the last thing you want to hear about a brand new platform. And the split within that inventory number tells the real story. Gas Charger sales have surged while the Daytona EV collapsed. Dodge got desperate enough to start shipping Chargers to Europe through independent importers, apparently without noticing the car is physically wider and longer than a Mercedes EQS. Here's what makes this the most tempting trap on the list. 670 horsepower with all-wheel drive at $15,000 to $20,000 under sticker is the wildest power per dollar deal in America. And I said exactly that on the Performance Bargains video. But as I flagged on the discontinuation watch, the gas-powered Charger 6-pack is arriving on the same platform in the same factory, which means the electric version's replacement is already on the boat. So the structure matters more than the discount. Lease it or buy it with a full factory warranty and never own it past coverage. Let Stellantis carry the risk. Number 2 wears the most trusted badge in the automotive world and cannot find a buyer. The Toyota BZ Woodland. 504 days of supply, nearly a year and a half, with around 2,500 of them sitting at an average price near $49,000. The Woodland is the rugged version of the standard BZ. Black fender cladding, roof rails, 375 horsepower, standard all-wheel drive, and a lifted stance aimed at the overlanding crowd. And the timing could not have been crueler. Toyota launched it right as the $7,500 federal credit disappeared. So a crossover designed to land in the low 40s after incentives became a $50,000 proposition overnight. Then the specs work against it. You get around 260 miles of range, less than the standard BZ it is based on, because cladding and roof rails and a lifted stance all cost efficiency. So you pay thousands more for a car that goes shorter. Regular viewers heard me call this a good car wearing an expensive costume on the flops video. And the inventory data now says the same thing in dealer language. The deeper story is the one this channel has tracked all year. Toyota's hybrids are selling faster than the company can build them. Record hybrid share. Best first half in America, while its EV variants gather dust. The badge is not the problem, the plug is. And for buyers, that split creates a clean opportunity. Dealers holding Woodlands for a year and a half will deal, and Toyota reliability behind a discounted EV is a genuinely defensible purchase. Just cross-shop the standard BZ first, because it costs less and goes farther. And the electric vehicle sitting longest on American dealer lots is the Polestar 4, with inventory readings that at one point reached roughly 1,468 days of supply, 4 years. At one snapshot, 16 units sold across a month and a half nationwide. Now, the fair caveat first. Deliveries only began at the end of last year, and when a car barely sells, the days of supply math explodes. That number has since dropped by more than half in a single month. So treat it as a signal of how thin demand is, rather than a literal 4-year forecast. But even discounting it, the reasons behind the number are real. The Polestar 4 starts around $57,800 for the long-range single motor. It is quick, 0 to 60 in the mid 3-second range, and it delivers on efficiency, exceeding its own rating in independent range testing. It is also the car with no rear window, replaced by a camera feed, which is either brilliant or unsettling depending on the driver. And then there is the thing no discount can fix. As I covered when the news broke, Polestar has been denied authorization to sell new vehicles in America, starting with the 2027 model year under the connected vehicle rule, because majority owner Geely is a Chinese conglomerate. It did not matter that the Polestar 3 is built in South Carolina, or that the software is Google and the hardware is Qualcomm. Ownership was the trigger. So every Polestar 4 on a lot right now is a discontinued car that does not know it yet, and the market has priced the funeral. The discounts are enormous. Service and warranty commitments continue, and the Volvo shared engineering underneath means parts are less of a nightmare than you would fear. But resale will be brutal, and the software future is uncertain. A short lease at fire sale pricing is defensible. A purchase makes sense only if you drive cars into the ground and never sell. 12 vehicles, and they fall into 3 groups. Learn to tell them apart, and this list becomes a shopping guide instead of a warning. Group 1 is timing discounts. The BMW i4, the Escalade IQ, the Genesis pair. Nothing is wrong with these cars. They're sitting because a replacement arrived, a price ceiling got tested, or a badge has not finished earning its money. Healthy companies, full warranties, real support. Buy these with confidence and let the inventory do your negotiating. Group 2 is paperwork discounts, the ID.4 and the Prologue. The deal is real, but a document decides whether you got a bargain or a problem. A closed recall on the Volkswagen, a clear understanding of what discontinued support means on the Honda. Do the VIN check and the homework, and these are among the best value in the market. Group 3 is risk discounts. The Wagoneer S, the Charger Daytona, the Polestar 4. Deep savings attached to companies in retreat. Models with replacements already scheduled, or a brand legally barred from selling here next year. These are lease candidates only, structured so the manufacturer keeps the risk instead of you. The one rule tying it all together, a vehicle sitting on a lot for a year, is telling you something. Sometimes it is telling you the market is wrong and you are about to get a steal. Sometimes it is telling you the market figured out something you have not. Your job is to find out which before you sign, not after. I am Nick, this has been Nick's Car Review, and I will see you in the next one.